impressions of staying in Russia and especially in Moscow? Who's first?
I can start if you want. So staying in Moscow and staying in Russia, I think it's a really different thing because we visit a lot, not a lot, we visit some few cities. And we realize that there is a big difference between people in Moscow and in general the life in Moscow and the life in all cities. I think that living in Moscow is quite similar with living in Europe. You know, it's a very occidental city, so people are not so different. So we find some habits that we had previously, so it was not a real problem, I think.
I do feel the same. I didn't really feel a big gap between France and Europe. I was expected a bigger gap, but I feel like home here, or cannot.
Yeah, I would agree a lot with that because I'm just a little bit disappointed because I wanted to discover which are really different from mine. I knew from the beginning that it would be not that much different, but it's really the same. We have the same habits, we wear the same clothes, we eat the same food. So a little bit disappointed for that point, but in reality it's really cool to discover this culture.
What was the strongest expectation that you had before you came here?
We see Russia as a snowy country, you know, with beers everywhere. Like we have a kind of cliches. The people has cliché about France with the baguette and all this stuff. So I think we have a vision, obviously, with cliches. So I will not say that it's what we expect, but I think like unconsciously, a little bit, yeah.
I didn't see any beers.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
Sad about it. I was expecting more cold, maybe in cold weather and snow and everything, but that's okay. And in summer it's very hot, maybe a bit rainy, but yes.
Yeah, she said something interesting, that the fact that we never experienced some cold like that, you know, so we didn't know how to expect like -25, -20 as we experienced it in last February. So we were like questioning about that, but in reality it's less cold. Yeah, it's cooler than what it's supposed to be, but it's okay, you know.
What have you tried for the first time in Russia? It could be sports, activities, dishes, different things.
I think that for my part, I play, you know, I try to do something new, but you know, the cliches activities that I would do, they were like really expensive or like quite complicated to organize, like meeting some beers. There is some activity like that, but it's really expensive. And with Sabine, we want to shoot with the Kalashnikov also in a club for that. I think we'll maybe organize it during the 4 weeks that we have yet, but I don't know right now, you know, if we will do it or not.
The first thing, one of the things that we did for the first time in our life was going to see the Black Sea. We'd never been there, so when we went to Sochi, of course,
Yeah, Sochi was really beautiful.
Yeah,
like, I think it's one of the best experiences of my stay here.
Yeah, and it's maybe cuts the cliches that we had about Russia, about cold and forest and everything, and it was a whole different Russia.
Okay, the next question will be about your first thought that you had when you came to Moscow.
Polluted air, you know, and I was thinking that it would be impossible for me because when the doors of the airport open, you know, in winter you smell the fuel of cars, and I never experienced something like that because I'm not from a big city in France. So for me it was like a big shock, the first breath that I take here with the air. So I was like, okay, it's over polluted here and it will be awful lifestyle.
For me it was it was a huge city. I've never seen a city that big. But yes, I arrived and then we came to the hotel, and then a few days after we went to the Red Square, and I thought, wow, this is so huge. And I also thought that it was not that cold as I expected.
Yeah, for me it's I arrived a little bit late compared to the others, so I was alone in the first time, and I just took the metro to go somewhere, and I didn't know anything about the city. So one of my first impressions was that the metro was really big and beautiful. So I was really impressed by that.
We have really beautiful stations, and each station has its own history, and it's a very beautiful thing to see. And the other thing is that metro is super calm. And that's the thing that we don't have in France. I mean, the people in the metro are super calm. When you walk with them, nobody's speaking, there is no noise except the noises of the metro. But people are not speaking, they're not like barking like in France. In France, in Paris, particularly, that people, yeah, they're doing some noises, like it's different things. So for us, it was a big shock about that.
I love metro. We love metro.
Yeah, the metro here, it's incredible thing.
Name me one thing that you will remember from this experience of studying here, of living in another country.
Patience.
Patience. I think because we learned a lot of things about it, about life, our personal experience, courses and everything. And I think we grew up a lot here and that we are more adults now. But as a good maybe souvenir, I think I will keep all of our museums that I did here and parties with my friends and everything. That was really, really good times that I spent here.
Yeah, I think that's for me the patience too, because you know it's the same thing I think for everybody that gets along in a really big experience like that. But the reality is that here we have been cut from the world, you know, with money, with friends, with everything. We had to adapt ourselves with just ourselves, and it was a big experience I think for us, long time.
Yeah, we became really independent too.
I would say values and honesty, because I met, in particular with guys, I met some guys with strong values, you know, particularly people from the south of Russia, from more traditional spaces and localization. There is a kind of strong values of friendship that I maybe didn't meet a lot in France before. So yeah, I love this, and that was one of the things that impressed me the most, you know.
It was very cool and I didn't expect that, and I was a bit afraid of being alone and everything, and we've never been alone. We've been very good welcome here, and I think I will remember that too.
Yeah, Russian people are more welcoming than we thought,
Yeah.
to be honest, because people said to us like, you will see Russian people are cold, particularly with Occidental and European people, because of history, you know, in particular. So we were thinking that here the people never smile, they have like poker face all the time, you know, and they're not really welcoming, but in reality it's quite different. People here, they can bring you at home, they can offer you some tea like this, they can offer you some food if you need, and so you feel really comfortable with them, and it's a really like good mood that you can have with people here.
Do you want to come to Moscow or Russia again, and in which role? As a student or as a tourist?
I think I will come back one day for sure, to maybe Moscow and St. Petersburg too, and I think I will come back as a tourist because I really want to make my family discover those cities, and which is now a little part of my life. So maybe I will come back as a tourist, or maybe in a few years professionally. Who knows? I hope so.
Yeah, only professionally, I think if I come back.
And for me, I think I will come back as a tourist, maybe a student, I don't know, but not in the few years, excuse me. Maybe as a tourist, because there is a lot of parts of Russia that I want to visit that I couldn't because it's really far and really expensive. I think especially about Baikal region and Baikal Lake. I'm really interested on it, and I really want to go on it, but this summer I couldn't because it's, first of all, really expensive to go, and I had to plan it for a lot of time. So yeah, I will came to discover all this, you know, wild side of Russia that I really loved, and I think maybe I will bring some of my friends to make them cut their vision about like Russia's URSS.
So you will share the right view of
Exactly.
our course.
Exactly, yeah.
As much as possible.
Yeah.
Will you advise to come to IPAX from Nepal to Moscow to Russia to your friends to visit it?
We already did actually with the people who will come to with the French student who will come in February.
Yeah.
So I think they are waiting for it, very excited, and so we already did it. And I think that I would talk to my family and friends that if one day they could go to Russia, like they have to do it. It's one thing to see, I think, in your life.
Give them one advice to the new French students that will come here.
I would tell them to make their own experience because I don't want them to be oriented or with stereotypes or everything. But I think that I would tell them to be curious and not afraid about meeting people and asking and everything.
I think I would say like tolerance and passion, because at the first meet you can say, okay, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like these people, I don't like this behavior. And I think that you have to reappreciate again what you think about people, because it's just like a culture gap that you could have, and it doesn't mean that the people in front of you it's bad people, you know. And about impacts in Ranepa in general, I think we were like the crash test, you know, the first session. So it's a really good opportunity to come here and do exchange. It's a really good thing, but there is a lot of things to it provides, you know, and to modificate maybe. And I think that if in both sides, in our university and here, they make the good job for it, it will be like an incredible thing. But in general, yeah, I think that they have to come here because there is something to do, you know, in general.
And I think be brave. Don't be afraid to discover something new that is not by the light of the media and things like that.